See, in last lecture, we were discuss about procedure for test 1 in large sample test. It is the test of significance of sample mean and population mean. It is the test for one sample. So it is known as the one sample mean test. We know that there are 5 steps here. Step 1, in which we have to set up the null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. Null hypothesis denoted by H0. Here we have to write there is no significant difference between sample mean and population mean, or you can write the sample has been drawn from the normal population with mean mu0, or in symbol you can write H0 mu equal to mu0. In alternative hypothesis, either you have to write not equal to or greater than or less than, it depends on the given question. So according to the question, we have to decide this one. But what is alternative hypothesis? It is exactly opposite of null hypothesis. Means whatever your conclusion in null hypothesis, opposite of that conclusion, we have to write in alternative hypothesis, and according to that conclusion, whatever the required sign, either not equal to, greater than or less than, that we have to mention in alternative hypothesis. If it is not equal to, then it is known as two-tailed test. If it is greater than it, then it is known as right-tailed test. If it is less than, then it is known as left-tailed test. Step 2, in that we have to calculate the value of Z. So it is known as Z-cal. Calculated value of Z you can find out by using this formula. Formula is x bar minus mu upon standard error of x bar. Standard error of x bar is nothing but standard deviation of sampling distribution. And the formula for that is sigma upon root n or s upon root n when capital N is unknown or infinite. If capital N is known and finite, then modification is there in the formula. The formula is like sigma upon root n into root capital N minus small n upon capital N minus 1, or s upon root n into root capital N minus small n upon capital N minus 1. By using the formula, given formula, we get the calculated value of Z. So it is denoted by Z-cal. Step 3, in which we have to define the level of significance. Level of significance is denoted by alpha. If nothing is mentioned, then we have to take either 5% or 1%. What is level of significance? It is nothing but the probability of type 1 error. And you know that what is type 1 error and type 2 error. Type 1 error is what? It is the probability of rejecting the null rejecting true null hypothesis. So when your null hypothesis is correct, but during the procedure of the testing, if it is rejected, then that conclusion is wrong conclusion. So error is there, and that error is known as type 1 error, and it is denoted by alpha. And normally we have to take alpha 5% or 1% if nothing is mentioned. You have a choice. You can take 5%, no problem at all. Okay, next step is critical values. Critical values can be obtained by using the normal table, which is also known as the Z table. So critical values, you can learn these values. For two-tailed test, if alpha equal to 5%, for two-tailed test, if alpha is 5%, then value is 1.96. For 5%, value is 1.96 for two-tailed test. And for one-tailed test and 5% level of significance is there, the value is 1.645. This is you have to learn. So because we know that either we have to take alpha is 5% or 1% if nothing is mentioned. Sometimes it is mentioned that take alpha is 5%. So in that case, our value is either 2.58 or 2.33. It depends whether it is a two-tailed test or one-tailed test. One-tailed test means either right-tailed test or left-tailed test. And if alpha is 10%, then value is 1.645 for two-tailed test and 1.28 for one-tailed test. So this is you have to learn. So either when if another level of significance is given, then you have to use the normal table. But for alpha 5% or 1% or 10%, tables are not available and values are also not available. So you have to learn this value. So, and this is required for all the test of large sample test. And once we get that value, it is our critical values, and then we have to take a decision. In decision, we have to take a decision according to this rule. For two-tailed test, if your Z-cal lies between Z-tep, means there are two values of Z-tap. One is positive and another one is negative. So if it is alpha is 5% and two test is given, then one value is minus 1.96 and another value is plus 1.96. Your ZCal is lies between that two value, minus 1.96 to plus 1.96. Then we can say that our H0 is accepted, or better word is not rejected. If it is beyond of that limit, then it is rejected. Similarly for one tail test, according to right tail test, we get positive value of Z-tab, and if our Z-cal is less than or equal to that, then H0 is accepted, otherwise rejected. And for left tail test, the value of Z-tab is negative, and if value of Z-cal is more than that, then it is accepted. If it is less than that, then it is rejected. So that is the procedure that we already discussed in our last lecture. So now let us start. Examples depends on this particular test. If you have any question, you can ask your doubt. If you have any question, you can ask your doubt. Okay, so now let us start. Question number 1. The question 1 is the mean lifetime of 100 fluorescent light tube produced by a company is computed to be 1570 hours with a standard deviation of 120 hours. Now, the company claims that the average life of tube produced by the company is 1600 hours. Is the claim justified? Use 5% level of significance. Now, what is the question? Once again, let us discuss. There is a claim of the company. What is the claim of the company? The life of the tube or tube light. Tube light life is 1600 hours on an average. Average life is 1600 hours. Average is 1600 hours. That means what? Few tube light have more than 1600 and few maybe less than 1600 hours. Not maybe, it's less than 1600 hours. So if that is the situation, some tube light having more than 1600, some has less than 1600, that is the situation. Now we took a sample of 100 tube lights of that particular company, and we found that the average is 1570. That means the claim is 1600, but our answer in our sample is 1570. So that is a difference of 30 hours. There is a difference of 30 hours. Now the question is, this 30 hours difference is negligible. If it is negligible, then we can say that whatever the claim of the company is correct. Whatever the difference is, that it is negligible and it is due to the sampling fluctuation. Actually, the difference is negligible and you can consider that, okay, the claim of the company is true. Or if the difference is significant, then we can say that no, the claim of the company is not true. Average is not 1600. That is our conclusion. So we have to decide whether the average is really 1600 or not. That is the question. So here in usual notation, question number 1. In usual notation, can you tell me what is this 100? Any of you? What is this 100? Symbol for this 100?
Small n.
Correct. Small n is 100. What is 1570?
H0.
157. No, it is not H naught. It is
Sir,
the yes, please.
proportion.
Oh, it is average. It is given that mean lifetime of 100. 100 is sample. 100 is sample and the mean life is 1570 and standard deviation is 120. So the average lifetime of 100 fluorescent tube light is 1570 with a standard deviation of 120. So this 1570 is the average of sample. Now tell me, what is the symbol of average of sample?
X bar.
Correct. So it is X bar 1570. And this is standard deviation of sample. And the symbol for standard deviation for sample is S. That is what? 120. And the claim of the company is 1600 hours. The average life is 1600 hours. That is the claim. So that is our population mean. This is the claim for all the tube lights of that particular company. So 1600 is the claim. That is what average life of the tube lights of the company. So this is our mu, and alpha is given 5%. It is mentioned in the question. Take the level of significant 5%. That is the question. Okay, so this is the given data. First of all, let us find out standard error of X bar. So we know that capital N is not available here, and sigma is also not available. So use the formula S upon root N. S means 120 upon root of 100. So it is 120 divided by 10. So standard error of X bar is 12. Okay, once we have all this value, let us start step 1. What we will write here? Step 1, H naught. Average life of the fluorescent tube light is 1600 hours. Average life is 1600. Average life of tubes is 1600 hours. That is our H naught. That means you can write H naught is mu equal to 1600. So you can say that the sample has been drawn from the population. Which type of population? From the population with the average life of 1600 hours. That is our H naught mu equal to 1600. And H1. In H1, see, we want to check whether it's 1600 hours or not. Nothing like that, that it is more than 1600, less than 1600, at least 1600. So if nothing is given, always we have to consider that as two-tailed test. So it is two-tailed test. So if it is less than 1600 or more than 1600, in both the case it is rejected because the claim is for 1600. So we have to check whether it's a really less than 1600 or more than 1600. That is what we want to check. If it is in the question, if it is given that the average, let us say the claim of the company's average is at least 1600 hours. In that case, because of the word at least, here you have to write either right tail test or left tail test. It depends on the situation. So we will discuss that one later on. Here nothing is given, so we have to write two tail test. That is end of step 1. Step 2. In step 2, you write the formula under H naught. Formula is Z equal to X bar minus mu upon standard error of X bar. So everything is given. X bar is what? 1570 minus 1600 divided by standard error is what? 12. So we get here minus 30 divided by 12, and you can calculate. So we get minus 2.5. So ZCal is minus 2.5. 30 divided by 12. Now see here Z value is given 2.5. Here in this particular book it is assumed that you have to take always modulus value of Z, but it is not required. You can take, that is one another approach to take the modulus value, but not necessary, not necessary. So no need to take absolute value. That means the value in a modulus. You can consider this as your final value. Minus 2.5 is our final value. So that is end of step 2. We have Z value of ZCal. Step 3. Just we have to write alpha. Here it is given that take alpha is 5%. Over. So step 3 is also over. Step 4. In step 4 we have to write the value of Z tab. So you have to write like this. At level of significance alpha equal to 5%, and for two-tail test, and for two-tail test from the Z table, from the Z table, we get Z tab equal to, any of you know the value? Alpha 5% and 2 tail test. What is the value of Z tab?
1.9.
Correct. So you have to write plus or minus 1.96 because it is a 2 tail test. So now we have value of Z tab plus or minus 1.96. And now last step, step 5, decision. See, for that what you have to do? You have to draw the normal curve first of all. Okay. Now, okay, here the value of Z is 0. First of all, you have to write value of Z tab. So one value is minus 1.96. And other value is plus 1.96. And this is our rejection area. This is also rejection area. Okay. Now the value of ZCal, see the value of ZCal is minus 2.5. So minus 2.5. It should be less than minus 1.96. So minus 2.5 should be here. Minus 2.5 should be in this particular area. This is the area which is known as acceptance area. This is rejection area. This one is also rejection area. If your ZCal is in this rejection area, then our H0 is rejected. So if ZCal is between minus 1.96 to plus 1.96, then it is accepted. So instead of minus 2.5, if it is minus 1.5, so minus 1.5 should be here. So in that case, we have to accept the null hypothesis. So right now, our conclusion is reject the null hypothesis. So you can write like this. Here, ZCal is in the rejection area. So H0 is rejected. H0 is rejected. That is H1 is accepted. That is mu is not equal to 1600 is accepted. That is claim of the company is rejected. Why? Because the claim of the company is average is 1600. But here we know that average is not 1600 because mu not 1600 is accepted. Means our conclusion is mu is not 1600. That is our conclusion. And the claim of the company is what? Mu is 1600. That is the claim of the company. So we can say that claim of the company is rejected. That means average life is not 1600. What is the claim of the company? Average is 1600, and we found that this claim is rejected according to the sample information. Whatever the information in our sample, according to that, we can say that there is a significant difference in the sample mean and population mean. That is the way to conclude. Now see what is the difference here. The difference of these two value is 30. Now see next question, question number 2. A sample of size 400. Here our sample size is of 100. Here it is of 400 was drawn and sample mean was found to be 99. Test whether the sample could have come from the normal population with mean 100 and variance 64. So in this question, listen carefully. Here See, okay, first of all, tell me what is this 400?
Small n.
Small n is 400. Then this 99,
X bar.
x bar. Then this 100,
Mu.
mu, population mean, mu. And 64, okay, it is not s square, but it is sigma square. Why it is sigma square? Tell me. Because it is given that,
Because sir, it is of population.
correct. Test whether the sample could have come from the normal population. Population with mean and variance. Population with mean this and variance. So it is sigma square. Variance is there, so it is sigma square. So we can say that sigma equal to 8. Okay. Now see the difference between these two values. 99 and 100. The difference is 1. So maybe we can say that here difference is 30, so it is rejected. Here difference is 1, so it is maybe it is accepted. But we have to verify whether this difference of 1 is significant or not according to the other information. So let us find out first of all standard error of x bar. So which formula we have to apply here? Sigma upon root n. Instead of s, sigma is given. So 8 upon root of 400, that is 8 upon 20. So it is 0.4. Now step 1, H naught. The sample has been drawn from the normal population with mean 100. That is, you can say that H naught is mu equal to 100. Simply you can write like this, no problem at all. H naught mu equal to 100, that is our null hypothesis. And H1, here also no word like greater than, less than, increase, decrease, at least, at the most, up, down, inferior, superior, nothing is given. That means it is two-tailed test. If it is more than 100 or less than 100, in both the case it is rejected. So it is two-tailed test. So that is the end of step 1. Step 2. Under H naught, Z formula is x bar minus mu upon standard error of x bar. X bar is what? 99. Mu is what? 100 upon standard error is 0.4. So it is minus 1 divided by 0.4. Do the calculation, minus 1 divided by 0.4. We get minus 2.5. So we have a same value. Even the difference look like very small, 1. Previously difference is 30, here it is 1. But our value of zcal remains same. That is possible because of sigma and n. So that is the end of step 2. Step 3. In this question, nothing is mentioned about level of significance. So we have a choice. Either you can take alpha equal to 5% or 1%. So we have a choice. You can take any one out of these two. Normally we will take 5%. If nothing is mentioned, we always consider 5%. But it is not compulsory. You can take 1%, no problem at all. Okay. Step 4. In step 4, we have to write Z tab. You can write like for alpha 5% and for two test the value of Z tab is plus or minus 1.96. And step 5, what you have to do? You have to draw the normal curve. Here the value of Z is 0. Here it is minus 1.96. Here it is plus 1.96. This is rejection area. And our value of Z Cal is minus 2.5. It is in rejection area. So H0 is rejected. That is H1 is accepted. That is mu is not equal to 100. So the sample is not drawn from the normal population with mean 100. That is our final conclusion. So even the difference is of 1 unit here, it is rejected. Previously it is 30, it is rejected. So you can't say directly without testing whether the claim is accepted or rejected. Okay, let us do one more example. Question number 3. See, question number 3. A random sample of size 36 was taken from universe of size 1000. Universe, that means population. Population of size 1000. Sample is selected and sample size is 36. A random sample of size 36 was taken from the universe of size 1000 and it was found that the sample average was 20. Sample average 20 with variance 16. How will you examine the average in the universe? Average in population is 22. That is the question. Okay. So tell me what information we have here. 36. What is 36?
Smaller.
And what is 1000?
Capital N.
Correct.
Capital
So
N.
here small n is 36. Capital N is 1000. Okay. Sample, it was found that the sample average was 20 and variance is 16. What is 20?
X bar.
And what is 16?
S square.
Correct. So x bar is 20 and s square is 16. So we can say that s is 4. And how will you examine the average in universe is 22. Average in universe means population average is 22, that we have to check. So our sample having average 20 and universe average is 22, that is the claim. So now we have to check whether this is the difference between these two is negligible or significant. Okay, so step 1. Okay, before that let us find out standard error of x bar. Any of you know which formula we have to apply for this data? Standard error of x bar. Which formula we have to use here?
S upon root n
Correct.
into
Hmm.
under root
Hmm.
capital N minus small n upon capital N minus 1.
Correct. So let us put all values. This is 4. Root n, 36 root is 6. Or you can write square root of 36 into 1000 minus 36 upon 1000 minus 1. So it is 4 by 6 into square root of, this is 964 upon 999. So do the calculation. So 964 upon 999, divided by 999. So we get 0.96. Let us take square root of that. So we get 0.98 into 4 divided by 6. So 0.6549, or you can write 0.655. 0.655. That is our standard error of x bar. Now let us start step 1. H naught. What we want to verify here? How will you examine that the average in universe is 22? So population mean is 22. Average in universe means population mean is 22. And what is H1? Nothing is mentioned, so we have to write not equal to two-tailed test. That is the end of step 1. Step 2, under H naught, formula z equal to x bar minus mu upon standard error of x bar. X bar is 20 minus 22 upon 0.655. So we get minus 2 upon 0.655. So we get z cal minus 2 divided by 0.655. So it is 3.05. So minus 3.05, that is our z cal. Now step 3, nothing is mentioned in the question regarding level of significance. See, the value of z cal is 3.05. So we have to take alpha 5%. You can take 1%. Let us take 1%. No problem at all. You have a choice.
Sir,
Yes, please.
sir,
Hmm.
in ZCal average, in ZCal it's minus 0.305.
Hmm. Minus 3 point.
Minus 0.305, sir.
No. Let us calculate by yourself. 2 divided by 0.655. So it is 3.05. Check it. Verify it by yourself. Do the calculation. 2 divided by.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, alpha, nothing is mentioned. You can take 5% or 1%, no problem at all. Let us continue with 5% only. Step 4. At alpha 5% and two-tailed test, we have a value 1.96. And step 5. Here z equal to 0. Here minus 1.96. Here plus 1.96. This is rejection area. This is also rejection area. And minus 3.05. It should be here. So once again H0 is rejected. That is H1 is accepted. That is mu is not equal to 22. That is accepted. So population mean is not 22. Here the question is check whether population mean is 22 or not. So our answer is population mean is not 22. Okay. Now let us do another example. This is you can solve by yourself. Let us discuss that one. See, a manufacturer of ball pen claimed that the certain pen he manufactured as the average writing of 400 pages with a standard deviation of 20 pages. So the average life of pen is 400 pages with standard deviation of 20 pages. So this is X bar and standard deviation of sample means S. A purchasing agent select. Okay, I'm sorry. This is the claim of the manufacturer regarding all the pens. So it is mu. Mu is 1400 and sigma is 20. A purchasing agent select a sample of 100 pens. So this is our small n and put them for test. And the mean writing life of sample was 390 pages. So this is our X bar. And should the purchase agent reject the manufacturer claim? So we have to check whether claim is accepted or rejected at 5% level of significance. It is simple question like question number 1 only. Okay, consider this as your homework. Question number 5. The mean IQ of the sample of 600 children was 99. It is likely that this was random sample of population with mean IQ 100 and standard deviation. So population population mean is 100. So mu is 100. Sigma is 15. Sample is of 1600 and mean is given 99. So it is almost like the question number 2. So you can do this equation by yourself. Okay, let us do question number 6. See what information we have. A sample of 100 observation gives sample mean 116 and variance 225. Okay, can we say that the mean of population is more than 118? That is our claim. Okay, now see what is our sample? Question number 6, sample of 100 observation. What is this 100?
N.
N. And sample mean is 116, so it is our x bar. So N is 100, x bar is 116. Okay, variance 225. What is it? Sigma square or S square?
S square.
S square is 225. So S equal to 15. Square root of that. And can we say that the mean of population is more than 118? See, mean of population is more than 118. First of all, forget this particular word more than. Okay, so mean of population is 118 or not, that is what we want to check. So mu is 118, that we have to consider. And now we have to check whether it's really 118 or more than that. See, once again, see, this is the claim. Let us say this is the claim like average IQ of the student in RJ Tigrawal is more than 118. Average IQ is more than 118. This is the claim of any of the person. Now I want to check whether this claim is true or not. Listen once again. There is one claim regarding the IQ of the student of RJ Tigrawal. What is the claim? The IQ is more than 118. IQ is more than 118. That is the claim. Now I want to verify whether this particular claim is true or not. So I took a sample of 100 observations, means 100 students. Selecting these 100 students and finding the IQ of these 100 students, we get this answer. 116 is the average IQ of these 100 students. And variation is there. 225 is the variance. Means some student may have more than 118, some have less than 118. So now we have to check about the claim. What is the claim of the IQ of the student? The claim is more than 118. Listen carefully. You have to consider, you have to verify here the average IQ of the student is more than 118 or not. This is what we want to check according to the question. So what we have to do, listen carefully. First of all, let us find out standard error of x bar. Which formula we have to apply here? Because sigma is unknown, you have to use S upon root n, and capital N is not given. So this is the only formula, and this is 15 and divided by square root of 100. So 15 divided by 10. So we get 1.5. Okay. Now step 1. H naught. Listen, in H naught always we have to write average is mu is 118. Here mu equal to whatever we have to given, that we have to consider as H naught. So H naught mu equal to 118. That is average is 118. Average in population. Average of population. Here it is a question of, yes, population mean is 118. So population mean is 118. That is the population mean is 118. Okay, can you tell me what we have to write in H1?
Mu greater than 118.
Mu greater than 118. Okay, now listen. Here it's better to write this one, less than or equal to, because our H1 is mu greater than 118. So in H0, see 1 is this should be opposite of each other. H0 and H1 should be opposite of each other. But always in H0 we have to write equal to. Then according to the equal to sign, we have to decide whether the given statement is true or not. So what is the given statement? Average is more than 118. And if we write equal to 118, so I can say that yes, it is not accepted. So the claim is rejected. In H0, our conclusion is claim is rejected, or our statement regarding the claim is reject the claim. So here in H1 we have to write accept the claim. And what is the claim? Average is more than 118. So here it is right tail test. Once again, listen carefully. Once again, listen carefully. What is our H0 here? Always in H0 we have to write equal to sign. Always in H0 we have to write equal to sign. So mu is 118, that is our H0. Now because it is given that check whether the population mean is more than 118. So we have to verify whether it's more than 118 or not. So we have to write here greater than. But listen. Instead of more than, if it is at least, what is there? At least what is there? The claim is what? Average of population is at least 118. Instead of more than, if at least what is there? In that situation, here we have to write less than, and it is our left tail test. Can you explain why we have to write less than if there is a word at least? Any of you? If there is a word at least instead of more than, if it is given at least 118, then our H0 is less than 118. Why? Sorry, H1. H1 is mu less than 118. Why? Any of you have any idea? Or you can say like, if we write greater than, then it is wrong. Why it is wrong? Or if it is less than, then it is true. So either you can say why it is true, or you can say that if it is greater than, then why it is wrong. Any of you have any idea?
इतना तो होना ही चाहिए, इससे ज्यादा होगा तो नहीं चलेगा. एटलीस्ट का मीनिंग ये होता है.
Correct. So the meaning of at least is this or more than that. Meaning of at least is this or more than that. So if we write here equal to 118, that means this 118 is there. So 118 is there, that means our claim is accepted. And H0 indicate claim is accepted. So in H1 we have to write claim is rejected. If we write greater than, in that case either H0 is acceptable, H0 is accepted after the end of step 5, or H1. In both the case our conclusion is what? The claim is true. Why? Because if it is exactly equal to or greater than or equal to, claim is accepted. So here we have to write